So this is it. This is the point that got me off the couch and into the game. I am Rex, and this is Project Rex. Today we'll be discussing The Little Mermaid 2023, aka The Black Little Mermaid. I'm joined today by Bucket Cap Bo and Joe the Mighty Mouse. Just a quick disclaimer here: what this video is not, like, it is not a denunciation of the actress at any point in time. It will never be that. I don't appreciate that. I said, this is just a girl out there just trying to make her way, secure that bag by any means. Absolutely. So that is not what this is. That's it. But we do have things that we like to talk about, discussing it, and some things that we feel that surround the Little Mermaid and why it might be in the buzz that it does. So without further ado, I present to you the team. Gentlemen, how we feeling today?
Feeling good.
Pretty good.
Absolutely amazing, man. How about you?
I'm in here. I said we in here, so we're live. That's about all you can ask for. so we here. So I said, for those of you who got to see it, you got to see the trailer. So we looked at it and everything. I got it playing in the background now too. What do we think? And so what was your initial response when you saw it?
I think my initial response was, "Holy shit, they don't made her black." I mean, but you know, it's to me, we grew up as a Little Mermaid. She was white. I don't think it was no issue, a problem. I didn't have a problem with this turning black, but it's like Disney just does this shit too fucking much, bro.
They do.
To me,
it is common.
They do it a lot to try to, to profit off of us, because we're going to go see it. Now we're gonna go see it more because she's black.
And I feel that sometimes I think that might be that actually is probably why we're here. Is it because you see it so often? They take an established character who was white, and we do know that sometimes is it due to historical context that a white character is usually viewed as the default, the normal, the average. It's the background character. It's the norm, and for a character to be anything other than white is abnormal. That's not something anybody asked, and somebody directly asked for. That's just kind of a result of how things have been shaped up to that point. But Disney does this to characters that not only are well established, but they do it to characters that have a deep connection to people. And I believe it's really just a puppet master mindset when they do this kind of stuff. They do it because they know they're going to generate a storm around it, more so because of one decision than for the merits of the film. And that's where I kind of draw issues with it, because I don't see this as a push for diversity. I feel like this is a push of agenda more than anything. And I'm black, and so this is coming from the words of a black babe over here, man. I don't see it.
Yeah. I tell you, man, my first reaction to it, I was surprised, to say the least. Would be lying if I say I saw that one coming from a mile away, because that was an exclusive drive for me. Wasn't so much in line about the agenda that was being moved forward, I was just more surprised, and to me, I just immediately took to the response of the black community on that one. Everybody was excited about it, because, I mean, if you really look at the history of Disney, for so long until, they started to finally incorporate, some ethnicity into their screen, for long, we went pretty much by the wayside, So to me, it was it was an eye opener. I'm surprised. I didn't collaborate my mind too much on the fact that, hey, what's their reason behind doing this? I mean, we know Miss Bailey, she's a phenomenal singer. So I mean, she
oh, absolutely.
I don't see why she can't have the part. Outside of skin color, what makes her not qualified to do the part? I mean, we all know we don't see plenty of actors and actresses that didn't have the skin color and probably didn't need to be there in the role either. So it really don't matter to that magnitude to me. But to me, it was I like what Disney has done over the years now moving forward. It's just they are incorporating, like I got two little girls that get to see, hey, this mermaid looks like me,
Mhm.
versus every other character we seen for the longest, you know, didn't quite resemble.
I hear
So I
you.
mean, to me, I absolutely, I'm with it, man. I'm happy for it. I wish others could feel the same.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Obviously, we in an adverse situation about this character this time.
Mhm.
yeah.
So let me.
So,
I said now I'm with you on that. Some of the reactions, not the whole little Instagram compilation that kept going around. Not that I wasn't on that one, but the some of the reactions of just like the little kids and stuff, and just the purity of it. Because I do recognize that for a lot of like little kids, this is the first of them seeing it, and they're kind of growing up at a time where that hand drawn medium of Disney is long gone. If their parents didn't preserve that kind of stuff, they probably don't have it. Um, and so they're getting to see this now. It could lend itself possibly to another conversation that I've had though. I don't feel like everything Disney had they needs to have a live action remake, because I feel like I've long felt that animation can stand on its own merit, and I feel that too often people look at live action as if it gives it some kind of qualification or legitimacy. I don't like that. I said I've always viewed animation is great. I mean, it's what we grew up on. It stood the test of time, especially quality animation stands the test of time like you wouldn't believe. So I
yeah.
don't know. I said so I see that, but again, I am happy for them to have a new character that they can lean into, because I remember what it was like growing up, man. You get around time where you're like, all right, I want to dress up as a black character. Let's see, who do I have? Uh Five. I got like five. I was like,
True.
man. And we all gonna show up the same. I mean, shoot. Look, think high school. I think when I went to go look at it, I was like, 'cause I've always been an anime nerd or cartoons and stuff. I'm like, let's look at it. I was like, okay, I could be Static for the umpteenth hundred time.
Yeah.
I could be. I looked at Barrett. I looked at Barrett from Final Fantasy, but Barrett, as funny as Barrett could be, Barrett is not a role model for the culture, bro. He is not, man. He acts like a nigga like
Absolutely
90%.
not.
90% of the time is he just full nigga. He just full nigga 90% of the time.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
They
looking.
they they made him that.
Yeah, they did do that. I said I'm looking at Fillmore and the Proud Family and stuff. It wasn't a whole lot. Like it was just little bits, and I was like, man, that sucks. So I do like that they're getting this opportunity to have someone else. But I do want to ask this though. Was the opportunity not there before? Could they not have also just been Ariel and just be themselves as Ariel? So that's just kind of want to see that, kind of just pick your brain a little bit on that one.
I think the opportunity always been there for them to do something. Uh,
So
I
Yeah,
think
I mean, I agree with that.
because I love the fact that she's doing it, because I know my daughters will look at it and love it.
mhm.
And I don't know, it just I'm I'm in between on it. Like I
Yeah,
love it, but I know why they're doing it,
why they're doing it? Yeah.
because it's like the time we're in. It's like they're doing it. It's the perfect time for them to do it.
Mhm.
If they're gonna do it at any other time, the time is now. Like, well, we can't just have our own characters, bro. They could have
It's,
been created characters for us, like they did Tiana. It was awesome when they
hey,
created Tiana.
amen. I was all for that.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
said, man, we
Tiana
got
got
a
me so much. I named my little girl after her. So
Okay,
I
okay,
yes,
named my
that's
little
what's
girl
up.
Tiana.
yes, bro.
So
I
my
was
baby girl.
hyped for that shit when they had Tiana. I said, bro, we finally got a character.
I know, and it was a
Finally,
us character. It wasn't like, and this is not,
no,
and this is, and I'm saying this is for the coach across the board, but this wasn't like normally if they do a black character, they always do like an African character and nothing like that. They don't,
yeah.
they don't, you don't usually see like a black American character.
Oh no, shout it from Louisiana,
Yeah, I know.
bro.
Shot it from the like shot it down there from the
Yeah,
bayou, boy. Like she from the
yes,
bottom.
exactly.
You they said she smelled like cocoa butter and perm, bro. Shot it was out there, boy.
Hey, boy,
Hey,
for real, boy.
Mm.
All sheen on that one.
Yeah, I know, right, bro. Shot it
Hey,
was out there.
so
And I like that. And see, and honestly, so you raised the point there too. I've always felt that if you really want to be progressive, you really want to be different, and it's coming from a genuine place, why not create an entirely original story?
true.
That's it. Why change one, because now I've heard people make the comment before. He goes, Ariel's a fictional character,
True.
which I'm gonna go ahead and squash that right now, because I'm gonna tell you right now that's not something I'll ever subscribe to. I said because these fictional characters are the children of their various authors. I said they are people that they created. And I said, as somebody who wants to be a writer himself, man, I said, when you make a character, you breathe that life into them. And I said, you make them as they are for a reason. Um, and
Yep.
I know we can go down the rabbit hole. Little Mermaid, she was a Finnish story with Greek origins, or excuse me, a Danish story with Greek, with some Greek influence and stuff like that and everything. None of which says black, but it's again back to the point of when people say it's a fictional character and it can be changed. So I bring up, so can Tiana be changed? Can Tiana be
Oh,
white?
that's
Yeah, but if they did, let's say hypothetically, you changed the whole story of Tiana's story. Because you gotta look at Tiana. Tiana was working what, 2 jobs?
2 jobs,
Mm-hmm.
working hard.
Black,
Mm-hmm.
young black lady aspiring, to have her
Oh,
own
still.
career one day. So it's different, like you change the whole scope of it once you try to do that, because we all know that everybody don't have the same opportunities, and that's what made that movie, because you turned a darkness in our culture into something that inspired
Yeah,
nothing but light and belief, and it
Yeah.
gave hope
it
to
did
a
get
lot of
hope.
people on that.
Mm-hmm. I like that, man. And shoot, I mean, and I look, it's 2022, and late in 2022, anybody who hasn't seen the movie, you had plenty of time to see Princess and the Frog. But if you haven't, spoiler alert, Ramon, old Raymond,
Nah,
man,
No,
that
Ray.
Lewis.
that
Hey, look,
man
Lewis is
hurt
my
me,
favorite.
man. I know he was, and I hurt, and then, like that movie made me feel,
Oh
and I
man.
actually hurt with Ray, man.
Yeah,
I
man.
was like, why y'all gotta do that to my boy, man? I
Oh
said, bro,
yeah, you felt that one.
yeah, I was like, he trying to help, man.
And man, he with Evangeline now, bro.
Evangeline. That boy up there with Evangeline.
Sweetie fly in the sky, man.
I know, right? That's it, man.
Hey man,
I'm gonna pull a little bit out for
y'all boy
Ramon,
playing
man.
my emotion right
I
now.
know, right?
Playing my emotion, man. But
That's
look,
me.
I tell you, like me coming from someone who's in music predominant parts of their life.
Mhm.
Of course, Lewis was my absolute favorite. I mean, you got an alligator around here playing this thing like Louis Armstrong.
Doing his thing, man.
I
He was
love.
doing
I
his
ain't gonna
thing.
lie to you.
Yep.
I still whistle the tunes. I mean, hell, you can't beat that. Like it's so. The movie is good for what it delivered, but I'd be damned if they didn't just nail the culture of New Orleans in that one.
They
So
did.
that movie
They
was
did.
100% hit.
You know what?
So,
This is gonna be a side tangent. As a Falcons fan, I never want to give New Orleans props for anything. As a human being, though, and as a black man in these United States, I do recognize the significance of New Orleans and how much of like kind of like what do you want to call it? Almost like it's just like a black explosion in New Orleans, man. It's what it does, what it's done for the culture and everything like that. Always hats off. So to
yeah.
incorporate that into a story, that is lovely.
Mm-hmm.
So
It is.
changing Tiana changed the story, but she's
Yeah.
fictional. Fictional. And this is why I try to lean into people on that. I say you can't change it too much. Now, for the case, as far as I know, because again, I don't really know what all the story beats are gonna be, but from what I've seen, this is pretty much just a 1-for-1 movie. And Ariel, as far as I've seen, is the only one who has been changed. I mean, her dad's still white. I think Eric is still white. So
Is she the only one that been changed though? I really it been so much about her. I never really looked to see who else was in this movie
and so let's
and who's
let me
playing what.
let me bring it
Who's
up
playing
now. I'll
who's
rat
playing
I'll
the
rat
father and
I'll
all that.
I'll rattle off the cast. Here in a sec. But y'all keep rolling.
So we were trying
I
to
just
see.
wanted if the lobster gonna still be Jamaican. I mean, you can't change that.
So
You gotta keep my boy, man. I mean,
Javier Bardem is King Triton. I said, you have Jonah. Howard King is still Prince Eric. Um, I said Flounder. I said Flounder is the it's a little boy from Good Boys, I think. So I mean, the other diversity cast outside of her, I do know they have an original character that they're adding to this one. That seems to be their pattern. They always add original characters and then add like 3 or 4 extra songs when that makes the movie have too many songs in it. But they keep doing that for some reason. They got that. They got Aquafina in here is Scuttle. I'm fine with Aquafina also, by the way, in animated stuff. It's for some reason whenever she's like live action, it breaks me because I'm like it's Aquafina. I can't unsee it. It's Aquafina. And I love Aquafina, but that's Aquafina. I was like it breaks any movie for me. But but back to the point at hand though, I say you don't change the melanin levels for the rest of the cast, but you change Ariel. I have questions. I mean, I'm not I'm not
I,
Mario over here, but I'm like King Triton.
I
One of
would
these things is not like the other, but
I, I would think that she went into that and that I can't think of it right now. I had a brain fart. Whatever. She went in for her audition
mm-hmm,
and she started singing and they were just like, "Holy shit, we can't get nobody else."
gotta have them.
I know that's what I think. What happened?
Yeah.
Like she blew them away with her voice. She's a beautiful young lady, and they were just like, "This gonna have to be Ariel right here."
Yeah. So they
Yeah.
just had
And
they
I
had to
mean,
have
not
it.
only that, she's one of the hotter, hotter
Oh
young
yeah,
stars in the very right now too.
oh yeah,
And
most definitely.
like to me, man, I look at there are a ton of they want to go with they want to keep someone that was white. And there's a ton of great artists that can sing that white. But this is how you shake the screen right here. First of all, I'm just gonna call it how it is. You get an area now that's slightly darker, which will resemble a black person, and it completely mixes up the trend. You know why? For one thing, I'm just being funny on this one.
Mhm.
What will you hardly ever see in life? You never see black mermaids. In fact, you don't really find a lot of black people that even like the water. Just to be straight up. So
Well,
this is
yeah,
how
you got
you
the point.
bring a total mix up, a total mix up on. And it's something that you made. This to me, this is a one in. Like this, I don't ever see this one happening again. Just to be straight up with you. I mean, you're not gonna find too much of that with having, like a black person that live in the water. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It'll never be my dream to aspire to be a
But
mermaid. Now my girls love them, and I'm excited for them because they are, like I said, they head over here for it. But I mean, how many times you really gonna see that? Like,
And
and
see,
you
you're
got
bringing a
the
perspective
perfect
I
character
don't.
because she's young and she can sing.
Yeah.
that's
She
true.
looks the part.
You're bringing a perspective I don't. I say I don't have. I say I know the two of you guys. That you have like you guys have daughters, and
Mhm.
so this can mean. And I know this is gonna also be different for black girls and black women's because I know they are probably one of the least represented demographics out there. Because I know as brothers we complain constantly about not having enough, but however many we have, they have like black women have even less. And so
Yep.
I get that.
Yeah.
And I remember once it was they were doing the interview, I said with the voice for Susie Carmichael. And she talked about like how few black characters there were, and she was like, I know because I voiced almost all of them. She was like, I voiced almost all of them by myself. So she
Oh wow.
so she recognized that, and that was the point so that you guys are bringing up too. So I know from my perspective as a dude, and I'm thinking that I would rather have them had made a completely new story, or since you already have the established Little Mermaid world, why not create an original story within inside that same universe without disturbing the ones representing it there? Now I can go all day on Disney getting paid to retread old ground and that vicious cycle and everything, and basically not making any changes. But that's beside the point for right now. But just you helped open my eyes on that part. That's something I didn't recognize. I'm a 30-year-old I'm 30-year-old dude, man. I ain't really gonna identify with no mermaid, man. That was never gonna be me. So so that's like so that I appreciate that. That helped show me something on that. The so I do want to ask then. So does that open up for any character to be changed?
Odds. I think you kind of have to, bro. Depends, though.
And see,
Some,
that's where I draw the line because
some
it's a slippery slope.
it is a very simple. Because some characters are legitly for
certain
that
demographics. Because I mean, I know there are
demographic to run
lots
it.
of
You know
little,
what I'm saying?
lots of little redhead girls and everything like that who adored Ariel for that reason. Because also, you know, you have a lot of media where for the longest time redheads were not favored. That's why we have the term like a redheaded stepchild and stuff. Yeah, that term. I said redheads were not favored, and so there are people and who identify with previous Ariel. What happens to those people? And also, what happens to Ariel herself? Because we had Ariel, even though I'm just being frank, let me go ahead and throw this out here. Ariel has all the personality of a plank of wood, and her story is one of the worst stories for children to imitate. Not a good story. If you really want to, and like if you want to call me on it, try to call me on it. I said leave comments and everything because I'm about to tell you what the real Little Mermaid story is about.
I know where you're going with that too.
The whole moral of the story is girls don't have to have a voice as long as they're pretty, skinny, and got large breasts. They'll get ahead in the world. That is the whole story of the Little Mermaid. Think I'm lying? Go watch it as an adult, and you will be like, "Holy crap! This is a terrible story." Also, Ariel sings a song. People always want to talk about being entitled. One of her songs, she says she has everything. She doesn't care. She wants more. I was like, that's a terrible way to be. She's a terrible role model. I was like, so hey, look, maybe
big fact.
Yeah.
I'm also be honest with you. Hey,
Yeah.
this, you know, maybe we're going overboard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wasn't she like 16? Was she a teenager?
Something like that. And
the dude she was with was like 20.
Eric didn't care. Eric didn't care. Eric literally didn't care that she could talk, that she couldn't talk. And like he was like, I'm about to smash, bro. I don't care about that, bro. And like I don't care.
Yeah, probably like hell. A woman that can't speak is the best one I have anyway.
I know. See, Eric on that account. Also, while we're just poking at it, the part when he figures out what her name is, Eric's response line is one of the douchebaggiest things you could tell somebody. He goes, "Ariel, your name's Ariel? Well, that's kind of pretty." Imagine telling somebody your name kind of pretty. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? Kind of like, what's the rest of it then? What is it? It's Ariel, man. It ain't even that crazy a name. What are we going? What are we doing with this? What are you doing here?
That is a defaulted compliment.
I know, right? It's a really double-edged compliment. Hey, man, that's But anyway, I said I can poke holes in that all day long. We just gonna gloss over the fact that the Little Mermaid universe had slavery too, but you know, we just gonna gloss over all of that. But yeah, so all in all, I guess my feelings on it are only looking pure. And again, it's not at the actors or actresses or anything. Mine is just looking at Disney. I'm tired of them getting paid to just re-gift stuff. And plus these stories, they didn't even make them themselves. I mean, they just slapped the Disney logo on it, cleaned it up a little bit, and then sold it the first time, and now they're doing it again. And
it's true.
And I think live action is probably one of the worst ways to go. I said we're about out of time. I said we'll
come back with that review for it though.
I know, right? I said we'll come back with it.
After we all watch it, we got to come back for that review.
Guess what? We're gonna be there, whether folks boycott it or not. Guess what?
We're going to see it.
Hey man, I was at Chick-fil-A when they boycotted that. That's a story for another time. But that's I need my number 7.
Look, I'm gonna just leave this thought here, man. You know, the biggest problem we have with this movie right now is it's bigger than what Disney offers. It's simply because we still live in a nation that only accepts diversity. It's not for diversity. It just accepts it because that's what we are. That's our main implication right now. Is the reason why we're even allowed to have this conversation, because the lack of the fact that diversity it is what it is in the United States.
If you like what you heard here today, leave a like and subscribe as it will definitely help this channel to grow. And be sure to ring the bell icon so that you can be notified when our next project drops. So we want to know, what do you think of the upcoming Little Mermaid film, and what's your take on Disney and their remakes in general? Give us your feedback in the comments below, and by the way, if you didn't like the video, subscribe anyway. That way we can give you more to hate on. Till next time.